Hello, and thank you for joining us once again on our journey toward a simpler, more sustainable life. As we've discussed before, it isn't enough if we focus on our environmental sustainability or just our economic sustainability or just our social sustainability. We need to focus on all three at once. That said, in everything there is a season, and this is spring, and so gardening is very much in the forefront of our mind. We've been planning and preparing to install a food forest on our land for the better part of the winter. With snow still in the ground, we cut the trees we're going to be using for fence posts. We peeled them, they've been drying, and in the last couple of weeks we've been actually putting in our food forest. So we're pretty excited about that. And today I want to focus on a technology we have developed over the years for putting in tall fence posts that works remarkably well. And so that's what we'll be focusing on today. It's a pretty amazing way of putting in fence posts that's really pretty easy and surprisingly strong. So let's get to work. So this is where we stand on our project so far. We're putting in both the corner posts and then the inline posts for this fence. As is usually the case, the corner posts are the ones that require the most fortification since they're getting pull in two different directions. So this is an example of a particularly heavy-duty way of installing the posts. This is the fourth or fifth iteration of this kind of installation, and I'm finding it to work incredibly well, and it's very, very easy. We did use wood right off of our own property this year. We looked into buying the posts like we have in the past, but both availability is high and costs, availability is low and costs are high. So we decided to use our own. We peeled them a couple of months ago and have been drying them, and that's worked real well. So like so many other projects, what's most important is what you can't see. In this case, it's literally below the surface. And so what this starts off with is a hole that's about 6 inches in diameter that goes 2 feet down into the earth. And then a second hole that's about 16 to 18 inches in diameter that goes about 1 foot into the earth. So it's kind of a two-step or two-stage hole. One of the things we did different this time is to protect the wood. We actually use an internal pipe that the wood goes into. So in actuality, the wood doesn't touch dirt any place. So in that 6-inch diameter hole that goes 2 feet down, we've got a 6-inch diameter plastic pipe that's 2 feet long that goes all the way in. And we'll show you that just a little bit. Then we have this fencing, which is actually two different cylinders of field fencing telescoped together to make it long enough. And this field fencing goes down about a foot into that larger hole, and we fill that field fencing with stone. As additional reinforcement, we put a steel post or two or three parallel to the post that is driven way down into the earth for additional stability. And the result is that this is just remarkably strong. I should add that finer gravel is put in any of the gaps. So for instance, between the wooden post and the inside diameter of that plastic pipe, we have gravel that really does a good job of holding things in place. So that's the overview of how we do it. Let me show you some of the specifics. Here is another corner post going in, and you can see what I was talking about. We've got the larger hole, 16 to 18 inches in diameter and a foot deep, and that's where the cylinder of field fencing and stones will go. The 6-inch diameter hole is in the center, and it goes down 2 feet, and this is a 2-foot plastic pipe that we got at the local hardware store, and it goes down inside of that hole. So the post will go in the plastic post. We'll fill the gap with gravel, put one or more steel posts parallel to the plastic pipe and thus also parallel to the wooden post, and attach it, put the cylinder of field fencing around it, and fill it with gravel. We use a similar technique for the smaller posts. We still use a plastic pipe, albeit in a smaller diameter, to line the hole, but we don't use the field fencing and the larger hole at all. The logic being this is a much lighter duty application and should be fine by itself. One thing that I've discovered recently is that not all gravel is the same. This gravel here is more like a pea gravel, and I thought it was working fine until I tried a different gravel. This paver base gravel works much better. It's got a combination of sizes, and thus it just locks everything in place. It's almost like concrete. It's so sturdy, so I would really recommend this type of gravel. As far as the rest of the garden goes, we've been working at it for about 2 weeks now, and we've got a lot planted. We've got 3 hazelnut trees, 2 Asian pears, strawberries, asparagus, kale, rhubarb, and a few other things. We ran out of chips, but more are due soon, with our goal to have about 6 to 9 inches of chips down by the time we're finished. We will be updating you on our project on the fence as it goes along. If you liked this and enjoyed it, please click the like button or share it, or better yet, subscribe, and please make any comments below. We hope your journey toward a simpler, more sustainable life is going well. Thank you.